Welcome everybody to Extreme Power No Handling, and today we're dealing with the 1973 AMC Gremlin X. Now this has 1017 horsepower, 852 pounds-feet of torque from a 7 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine. The car itself now weighs 2,852 pounds, and yeah, this only had 150 horsepower in stock form. The only other change outside of the engine is the gearbox, because it had a really rather awful 3-speed manual, which wasn't giving us anywhere near the kind of top speed that we kind of need on this series. So yeah, I'm not expecting much from this, because obviously it's quite a short wheelbase car. It's rear wheel drive, so it's going to have a lot of power going through those rear wheels. And yeah, it's quite a lightweight car as well for what is an American car, so it's going to probably get easily thrown around. And as you can see by the stats, the speed is good, but we're never going to get up to, its top speed of 204 miles an hour on this series, so kind of irrelevant, but it is at least better than it was with the standard gearbox. But yeah, as you can see by all the other stats, handling, acceleration, launch, and particularly braking, it is on the low side. So yeah, I'm not expecting great things from this at all. But yeah, going to be interested to see what it can do, or can't do, more specifically. Because yeah, it's got a lot going against it. Now this is what was considered a compact car in America in the 70s. Because AMC had no money whatsoever as in comparison to the big three at the time, this is basically a chopped down version of a much bigger car. That's why, in terms of style, as you can see, it kind of looks like a car that has been split in two or cut down somewhat. Well, in terms of handling it right now, it's pretty woeful. It's soft as anything. It's, yeah, sliding about everywhere. Really not able to put the power down. Doesn't have exactly the widest of tyres, and even in stock form, it wasn't the best handling car ever. Even though it only had 150 horsepower and didn't exactly have much in the way of top speed. So, yeah. It's struggling, no doubt about that. It's certainly not as playful as the Toyota from the previous episode, which obviously had modern tyres, modern brakes, and all-wheel drive to help it deal with all the extra power that had. Whereas this doesn't have modern brakes, doesn't have modern tyres, and doesn't have all-wheel drive. So, end result is you've got a car with nearly 900 horsepower extra over its standard version, and yeah, it's struggling. Add on to that about 600 pounds-feet of torque extra, and yeah, the end result is quite predictable, but it is somewhat manageable once you get used to how much it just wants to slide about. It's hardly going to be our fastest car in this series, especially in comparison to the Toyota in the previous episode. So yeah, 1 minute 40.817 is our first lap time. That's not even the worst that we've had by any means, but that's a good 20 or so seconds slower than the Toyota's fastest time in the previous episode. Even though obviously we are a lot lighter than that car. Now acceleration wise, as you'd expect, because it doesn't have all that much in the way of grip, it's, despite having more than 1000 horsepower, quite slow off the line. So yeah, 0 to 60 is dealt with in 7.101 seconds, and 0 to 100 is dealt with in 11.7 seconds. So yeah, not particularly quick given the amount of power it's got, and that just proves that just because you have a lot of power in an engine, it's more important about how you put that power down. Because you could have 2000 horsepower in this car and it won't make it a downside quicker at all. So yeah. What I do kind of like this car in stock form. I like its kind of, ugliness to it. It's ugly, but not in an overly offensive way. Because it's not the most pretty car ever. Certainly not the most pretty car ever in interior-wise, even on the outside. But neither is it dynamically much of a good car either. Like I said, it only had 150 horsepower from a V8, no less. 3-speed manual, which not particularly great. But yeah, I do like these kind of cars just because we've got the flaws, but they're not flawed in such a way which, like I said, is offensive or annoying or anything like that. But still, we improved there with another goodish time, 1 minute 34.795. So yeah, marked improvement over last time by about 6 seconds. Let's see if we can do any better on this third and final lap. You really can't be aggressive with the accelerator when going around the corners at all. So it will just kick out. Great drift vehicle, no doubt about that, if you can keep hold of it, but not particularly quick, because drifting around a corner is never the quicker way around the corner. Do get up to a decent rate of speed, we do easily crack 100, but not much beyond that, quite frankly. Final corner, sliding around again, and a quicker time. That's one of the few cars that has improved with each lap. So yeah, I think it was 1 minute, what was it, 33 something? Yeah, 1 minute 33.577, so yeah, a good 16 seconds or so slower than the Toyota Tundra in the previous episode, but it's far from the slowest car that we've had. Yeah. In terms of American cars, I think we'll base this judgment on. It's quicker than... we've not had that many American cars, to be honest. It's quicker than the no it's not. The Hummer H1 and the Hennessy Velociraptor were both quicker than this. Guess that's no real surprise, given they had all-wheel drive. What are we quicker than? Nope, not that. I'm just trying to find where the rest of these cars are. It's not quicker than the GMC Jimmy. It is quicker than the Ford Super Deluxe station wagon, which I guess is no real surprise. That is a car from 1946. But even then, the technology hadn't massively advanced with these American cars by that point. So, yeah, no real surprise that we were quicker than that. But we are slower than GMC Jimmy, like I said. And yeah. We're slower than the Oldsmobile Tornado, which despite being front-wheel drive was actually a pretty good handling car, and we're also slower than the Ford Super Duty F450, which again is a big, all-wheel drive American car, but again that all-wheel drive is what helped it over everything else. So yeah, not a particularly quick car, but it is somewhat fun in a kind of hooligan kind of way, just sliding it around and just hanging on for dear life. But yeah, that is by no means a quick way of getting around the track, and yeah, extremely unsophisticated and yeah, extremely oversteery. So yeah, but then again, no surprise when you consider how much power this had originally, which wasn't that much. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.